each night. And it happens to be interesting. I don't know what the cheshbon is, but they fight specifically at night. And the worst hours supposedly are between 2 and 5 p.m. there, 2 and 5 a.m. there, which is just about the start of our shiur. So I think it'd be appropriate that we learn the matzav, the chayalim, the entire Jewish nation. It is remarkable times, gentlemen. The achdus, the unity, the clear gilui shechina, the amount of missiles that the Gazans have shot, the amount of missiles that have landed, and there's so few casualties, so few fatalities. It's I don't know how to call it other than a nes gole. There's no words to describe you hear every day a direct hit in Tel Aviv, no casualties. Direct hit in it was Rishon LeZion, no casualties. Like
they're still using the number 1,400 for total casualties since the October 7th. They're still using that number as total casualties, including October 7th, but still saying 1,400, which means there's been fewer than 100 total since then. Right.
Yeah, it's remarkable. All right, but again, unfortunately, the chayalim though going in, that's scary beyond. So all right, let's say a quick tefillah, and we should learn tonight b'schus the Klal Yisrael, b'schus the chayalim. We should have a lot of dead Gazans, a lot of dead Hamas soldiers should die misa mashuna, and not a single drop of Jewish blood should be spilled. Achenu kol beis Yisrael nesunim b'sorah. Amen. Okay, all right. So, gentlemen, let's get started and discuss the Klal Yisrael. Okay, so why Samagula Tefillah? The question is why, right? Now we have a Rashi who taught us two things. Rashi taught us number one that David Melech was Merames Hashem Tzuri V'Goli. Right after this pasuk of Hashem Tzuri V'Goli, the next pasuk starts Yant Hashem B'Yom Tzara. So there's a connection. Hashem Tzuri V'Goli. Hashem, you're my redeemer. Right after Gal Yisrael, right after Geula, is Hashem answering tefillah. So this is a remez. And then Rashi brings this concept from the Gemara Yerushalmi that it's like the knocking on the king's door. The king comes out, he sees his friend isn't there, he leaves, the king leaves. So too, don't do that. Rather, when you makalas Hashem with shiurs with hishbachos, and then you'll say Yesiyas Mitzrayim, right away ask your tzarchim, your tzarch. Okay, so now basically Rashi seems to tell us there's a smach and a svara. It's a smach, meaning there's some kind of smuchim over here, connection between, smuchim means literally close, but they're connected. Some connection between Hashem Tzuri V'Goli, Yancha Hashem Yom Tzara, and then some kind of svara from the Hovo Shemelach. Now, we don't understand exactly how these combine. If it's one, if it's two, what does it mean? It was difficult to understand. So what we're going to do is turn to the Shagas Aryeh, because the Shagas Aryeh is going to explain to us exactly what Rashi means. And we're going to walk out this evening in Mitzvah Hashem with a working pshat in Rashi, being able to read Rashi beautifully. Okay, so let us begin. The Shagas Aryeh deals with the following question. Sheila, Yitzarech lismoch gula tefillah, b'Shabbos yontiv k'mo b'chol, o ein tzarech lismoch b'hem gula tefillah mitamish yidbar lefenenu. Is there a smichas gula tefillah on Shabbos and Yontiv or not? Now, gentlemen, just so you know, this event just occurred to us. It happens every year, but when you Mashiv Ruach or Morid Gashem, so we begin that on Musaf, right? Shmini Atzeres Musaf, right? We start Mashiv Ruach Morid Gashem. Now, we don't start Mashiv Ruach the first days of the Chag because it's a Siman Kloliv and Sukkah is going to rain. We'll have to leave the Sukkah, so we don't ask then. We don't ask at night of Shmini Atzeres. Why? Because not the entire Am is there. Some people are there, Mara, some people aren't. So we want a time where everybody begins together. So Gemara's question is, okay, great. Begin in the Shabbos morning. That should be the first Shachris. Should be the first time that you have Mashiv Ruach Morid Gashem. But we don't do that. And the Gemara says, why? Because you can't announce it before Shemona Esrei and Shachris, because you have to be Somech Geula Tefillah. Therefore, we announce it before Musaf. And therefore, by Musaf, we start saying Mashiv Ruach Morid Gashem. Now, that is a very debatable point, whether, in fact, on Shabbos and Yontiv, you have to be Samach Gula Tefillah or not. We're Machmir, and we say we are, but the Shagas Aryeh is dealing with this question. On Shabbos, we know during the weekday, for sure, Shachris, you have to be Samach Gula Tefillah. No one questions that. The question is, Shabbos and Yontiv, do you have to be Samach Gula Tefillah, yes or no? So this is the Shagzari's question. They have the Samach Gula Tefillah on Shabbos and Yontif. Okay, so let's get started. Tshuva. Bagos Ashri, Parakam and Brachas, Bagos Ashri on the rush in the first parak of Brachas, Kasav, B'Shem Ozerua, he writes in Ozeruk, B'Shabbos, Ein Tzarech Lismo Gula Tefillah. Ozeruk Paskins, on Shabbos, you do not have to be Samach Gula Tefillah. Why? Where do we learn out of the Samach Gula Tefillah from Yantcha Shem Yom Tzara Diksi Basrei right after it says Yiratzonim Refi? That is a Tosat Tfuz, by the way, because it says it before. Yiratzonim is before this, but Basrei it means after, but whatever it must mean before. Okay, but anyway, the point is the smuchim between Yiratzonim and Yantcha Yom Tzara. V'Shabbos Lav Yom Tzara. Shabbos is not a day of Tzara. Al-Kain. That's therefore he says this is the this is Agos Ashri, quotes Ozerua, and this is the basis of halacha that on Shabbos and Yontif when we don't have smuchas gula tefillah. Umipasha dvarav mashma du'edim Yontif, from the fact he says it over simply without qualifying, it's mashma Ozerua that Yontif as well. Nami eino tzarech lismoch the Yontif nami lav yom tzarahu. Yontif also isn't a yom tzara. So this is basically the Orzerua, right? And basically,
we don't say that capital of capital Chav in davening.
Wait, say it again.
Does this mean days that we don't say that capital Chav in davening? It's a capital we say in davening after Ashrei. Capital Chav, Yom Tzara. That's Lam Natzeach. That's
right.
Capital Chav. We say in Ashrei, between Ashrei and Baal Tzion.
Right. So
does he mean any day that we don't say that capital? We don't say
no, definitely not. No. And specifically, Shabbos and Yontif are not Yom Tzara. Other days are. Now, you're right. On days that it's not, we don't say Tachanun, for instance, and we're not going to say it in addition, but that does, but let's see.
Sometimes we'll say, won't say Tachanun, but we'll still say.
Okay. You know
what does Micha Gula Tefillah and the Yom Tzara have to do with each other?
Okay, that happens to be a very good question, which the Shagzari asks. So that's what Dov is asking is a very valid question. But let's proceed slowly, step by step, and let's see what he's saying. Okay, so Orzerua says, it says Hashem Tzuri V'Goli Yan Hashem Yom Tzara. Shabbos is not a Yom Tzara, so obviously it doesn't apply. This is basically the Orzerua. Okay, now says the Shagzari. But Beis Yosef Arachayim Siman Kuf Yud Aleph Kasal Divrei Orzerua. Beis Yosef wrote on this Orzerua Ve'ein Dvar Nirim. I don't agree with him. It doesn't seem logical. Daikros Samach Ba'almahu. This pasuk of Yam Hashem Yom Tzara is just a smach. B'lav Haikra. Without this pasuk, Sarach Lismo Gula Tefillah. Anyway, you have to, even without this pasuk, you have to be someone Gula Tefillah. V'od the Tefillah Shabbat Makam Tefillah Schol the Inyan Beis Sarahu. So the Beis Yosef has two problems with the Shagzari. Did I say with the Orzerua? And number one, it's just a smach. It's not really a limit. It's not really the makor. It's the two psukim are close to each other, but it's not really the source of it. And that's problem number one. And problem number two is Tefillah Shabbos is in a place of chol, and therefore it fulfills the issue of Eis Sarah. Okay, good. So this is the Beis Yosef. Number one, smach ba'alma, meaning it's an indication, it's not a reason. This is a simple reading of what he's saying. It's indication, not a reason. And number two, Shabbos anyway is fills in for the weekday davening. All right. Even if I can't for the life of me figure out what the Beis Yosef means by this idea that Shabbos fills in for the days of the week, meaning I don't understand that. However, mikomakom mashakos I cross smach ba'almahu yesh lo makom. However, that which the Beis Yosef is asking on the Orzerua, this is just a smach ba'alma. It's not really a basis for it, and certainly not the reason for being someone gula. Does have a basis. Okay, if this is the Beis Yosef holds, it's a valid question, right? I mean, the Shagzari, I'm confusing myself as I'm trying to answer questions here. With Darki Moshe Shem Kasav, Alba Kalbo Kasav Divrei Orzerua. And Darki Moshe writes that in the name of the Kalbo who holds like the Orzerua, and so to Maril's Mashal Yontiv, because of Sham Yontiv Sarach Lismoch L'Kulei Alma. And he writes on Yontiv, according to everyone, you have to be Somech. Okay, so basically what he's brought in, the Shagzari has brought in a little bit of a tumult. right? Meaning the Beis Yosef has a good kash on the Zerua that this is just a smach ba'alma. However, the Daki Moshe says, like there is a Zerua, the Maril says like him also. So whole tumult, what do we do? But basically the point is, even if the Zerua is correct about Shabbos loves Torah, how do I get over here? One second. How do I get over there? I skipped the slide. One second. Did I miss a slide here? One second. I skipped something. I apologize, gentlemen. Okay, so again, number one, he says, so what the Beis Yosef is saying is, the Shagzari, it says, I agree with the Beis Yosef that smach ba'alma. However, the Darkei Moshe and others seem to tumble back and forth. So therefore, however, the Maral says by Hilchos Yontif, everyone agrees that you have to, even the Arzaru would agree that you have to be somech. Now, why would even the Arzaru agree that on Yontif it's different than Shabbos? Rabbi Yontif Sarach Lismal Kuli Alma. So says the Shagas Ari Venir Tam Hovos Yom Shem to Bishar Pamu Yom Tzara. Since other days, meaning Yontif comes out on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and Thursday, but other than Yontif, if it's not a Yontif, it is Yom Tzara. Then, so with Somchim, Ap Yontif, therefore, Somach even beyontif, Lefukei Shabbos, the Olam Ein Yom Tzara. Lefukei Shabbos, which is never Yom Tzara. So basically, the Maril is Mechalik, and says Yontif falls out on regular weekdays. And true, the day of Saturday isn't Yom Tzara, Shabbos is Yom Tzara, but since weekdays are when Yontif falls out, therefore everyone holds that on Yontif you would have to, on Yontif you would be required Somech Gula Tefillah, even though Shabbos not. All right, so basically,
sometimes Shemini Atzeres falls on Shabbos, and therefore since sometimes falls on
Shabbos.
Shabbos.
So then you wouldn't. When it falls on Shabbos, you would not have to do Somech.
Low plug, you always do because sometimes it falls on Shabbos.
Right. So the rule is, the Maril says that on Shabbos, the low plug is Shabbos, you never have to be Somech. On Yontif, you always have to be Somech.
Even when it falls on Shabbos?
No, not when it falls. No, all Shabbosim, all Sabbath.
So what I'm suggesting is, since when Shemini Atzeres falls on Shabbos, you'd have to wait until Musaf. We always wait until Musaf.
So you're suggesting...
I'm not trying to argue the Shagas already. I'm just trying to mention a possible...
Who are you helping with that?
It helps explain why we have to wait until Musaf.
No, when the Maril says the rule is Yontif, there is no... he says, according to... It's only Shabbos, but every Yontif, you have to be Somach Gula Tefillah. That's what he says. Now,
even when Yom Tov falls on Shabbos?
No, if it falls on Shabbos, you don't have to. You would not have to.
Would come out then, and when Shemini Atzeres falls on Shabbos, you have to wait until Musaf to start announcing it. So
no, don't do me for opinion. You're going to confuse the whole world. You don't confuse the halacha with the Maril. The Maril is saying something. We're not going to agree with that in the end. But you don't. Just leave it. And so again, and basically a very simple chiluk. On Shabbos, the Maril is saying like this: on Shabbos, Shabbos is Yom Tzara. Yontif comes out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever comes out. Therefore, it's not a Yom Tzara. So on Shabbos and Echanami, you don't have to be Somech. But a Yontif, you do have to be Somech, and that's a Maril chiluk. Okay, now L'daiti now starts the Shagsari. L'daiti ains in Nochel Medas or Zerua. This is not Pshat no Zerua. Not the Beis Yosef, not the Maril. They all got it wrong. Let me tell you, the right Pshat says the Shagsari. The Vade ain't Tam Mishum Diksiv Yancha v'Samach Le. The reason is not because it says Yancha, and close to that it says Shem Tzuri V'Goli. They know Dorn Shel Tam. The Ma in Yom Tzara L'Smichus Gula Tefillah. What in the world does Yom Tzara have to do with Yancha? Meaning Yancha Yom Tzara. What does it have to do with Samach Gula Tefillah? And it's when it is Yom Tzara, it's you do. When it's not, you don't. Like what? It's not. It's not lacking any time. There's no logical explanation to this. It makes no sense, right? And therefore, it can't be what the Zerua is saying. Okay. Now starts the Shagas Aryeh. So he says as follows: Rashi, if you like to know what the Zerua means, let me tell you what he really means. He means just like Rashi explained to us in Brachos Daf Dalan Beis. Rabbi Yochanan's statement was, who's ben olam haba, someone who's some gula tefillah of arvis, Uperish Rashi. Rashi explains to us. Smichas Gula Tefillah Ramza David B'Sefer Tehillim Diksiv Hashem Tzuri V'Goli. Samach LeYant Hashem Sarah. Right, that Rashi mentions. David has this hekesh, the smichas between Hashem Tzuri V'Goli and Yant Hashem Yom Sarah. V'Ama B'Bracha Shirshami. Mishan Samach Gula Tefillah L'Ma David Domer L'Ovo Shel Melech. To a friend of the king, when it knocked on the king's door, the king found that he left. So the king also left. So don't do that. Rather, the person should bring a Kadosh Baruch Hu close to him with praises and compliments. Shall you see us Mitzrayim? Miskarav love, and Hashem comes closer to him. This is Rashi. So basically, what so far all the Shagzari did was quote Rashi and tell us that that's Pshat Nor Zerua. Now he gets to work. He says, "Hare Iker Atam Shel Smichas Gula Tefillah K'dei Lakarv LaKadosh Baruch Hu Elav Aidei Kilson Shel Yitzias Mitzrayim." The main reason of Somek Gula Tefillah is because you want to bring a Kadosh Baruch Hu close through praise of Yitzias Mitzrayim. Bo Dakar we love Yeshel Tzvot Sarchav. Why? In order for your tefillah to be accepted. That's only shaykh on Yemei Tzara Shem Mechol. Shadam Ispalam Yudches Brachos. Sheish Mem Shelas Rachav V'Tzaras V'Shaladam. On the weekday, you have all the bakashas and all the tzaras that people have, so they ask for help. Okay. Gentlemen, what's the Shagzari saying?
It's no gay when you say the weekday Shemona Esrei or the Shabbos Yom Tov Shemona Esrei. You say 7 brachas or 18 brachas. You say 7 brachas. We're not the middle bracha is not tefillah shabbat kasha really. So therefore, there's no. You don't need to have the gula tefillah svara of bringing the king close to asking bakashas because we don't have bakashas on Shabbos and Yom Tov.
Jake, you agree?
I mean, I think the way it's kind of explained it last year, I think, is that the idea of Somek Gula Tefillah is that you're supercharging your tefillah to make it more, skabel. And since that's not, you can't be asking for your own personal tzarach on Shabbos and Yom Tov, then it's not helping with anything. It's not a necessity.
Good. And so, what's the connection between the smach and the David Melech, Tzuri V'Goli, Yancha, and the Sora? What's the connection exactly?
That you only need to be Somek Gula Tefillah on the day that's Yom Hashem B'Yom Tzara. It's on the day where you're actually being asking for things. It's just a
good. So what teaches us the reason for Somek Gula Tefillah?
Svara.
Yeah.
Svara. And what does the smach do?
It shows
hinting to the Svara.
It's what?
It's hinting to the Svara, no?
Jake, say it one more time. I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry, what? It's what?
It's just hinting to the Svara. It's hinting to the concept.
What I call like a support. Okay, good. All right, so let's put it up here. We have weekday Shemona Esrei. What does a weekday Shemona Esrei look like? It looks like this. You have 3 brachos in the beginning with Shevach, right? This is where we focus our understanding on the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so we know to whom we are addressing ourselves. Then in the center are these bakashas. We have 13 brachas and tzois, which are all bakashas. We ask Hashem for things, right? Ask Hashem for everything we need. And then afterwards, Shalosh Achronos, we have Hodah. We praise Hashem after. But there are 13 brachas in the middle where we ask for all of our tzarchim. And therefore, and this is the weekday Shemona Esrei. What does Shabbos Shemona Esrei look like? So parts of Shabbos Shemona Esrei are the same. The first 3 are Shevach. The last 3 are Hodah. But one bracha in the center is different. It's just Kiddush Hayom. Mekadesh HaShabbos or Yontav, Mekadesh Shabbos V'Yontav. Point B, it's Kiddush Hayom. But what are the bakashas we make on Shabbos and Yontav? Answer is no bakashas. So basically what? What is the purpose of Somek Gula Tefillah? Is to supercharge your Shemona Esrei, right? How to get your prayers listened to, right? So
I gotta appreciate the Yitzias Mitzrayim.
Well, no, meaning that's what we do. We say Gal Yisrael, and that praises the king, so that brings Hashem close. And when Hashem is close, we ask our requests. Why do it that way?
We're still bringing the Ribono Shalom close and running away.
How are you running away? Where are you
Well,
running away?
because if you don't have a chiyuv of smichas gula utfila, so you make a pause. You say you say gula by Shema, and you take Al Yisrael, and then if you take a break, then you called the Ribono Shalom and then you left.
Okay. Now what? So I don't need on Shabbos and Yontif. I don't care about that because I'm not making any bakashas.
So what?
What are you saying?
I'm saying that you're still calling the Ribono Shalom over, and then he's coming to the door, and you're not there.
And what does that sound like to you?
A lack of respect.
Sounds very disrespectful.
Yes.
Now I happen to agree with Dov 1,000%. But gentlemen, is that what the Shagasari is saying? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He would say, apparently the Shagasari would say to that, that's a dumb Sora. Didn't you read the Yerushalmi? The Yerushalmi says the whole purpose of Soma Gula Tefillah is when you bring Hashem close, then make your request, because that's how you get your tefillahs answered, right? You want to get your prayers answered, right? How do you do it? Bring the king close. When the king is close, make your request. Now, Dov is making a very good point that even if you don't need to make your request, it sure does sound like an insulting kind of thing, right? Like, I mean, watch the example. The friend comes to the door, knocks on the door. The king comes out, the guy's gone. What are you knock on the door, bring me out there, and you're not there? That's highly insulting to the king. So let's say you're right. On Shabbos and Yontif, you don't have to make a bakash. You don't need anything. You're not allowed to make bakash. Fine. But don't insult the king. Don't insult the king. At least go right into Shemon Esrei. Go, what are you insulting the king for? So again, I agree with Dov in theory, but clearly the Shagasari is not saying that. And because he's saying on Shabbos and Yontif, the logic to explain why there is no reason to be Soma Gula Tefillah is because you don't got to make no requests. So there's no, again, the whole purpose of Soma Gula Tefillah is to how to get your tefillahs answered. Shabbos and Yontif, you don't have to get your tefillahs answered. So you don't do Soma Gula Tefillah.
Is that goofy by Rabbi Ben Levi doesn't do it that way? Is that why he flips the order? Not to be disrespectful?
We didn't say anything. Whatever. Okay. Yes, some along those lines. Okay. Well, let's proceed. So again, all the Shagasari has told us so far is that there's a difference between Shabbos and Chol. On Chol, we have requests, so we need to be Soma Gula Tefillah because you got to get your requests answered. On Shabbos and Yontif, you don't have requests, so you don't have to be Soma Gula Tefillah.
Okay, the Rebbe just explaining why it's disrespectful. Why is it disrespectful? I missed that point.
Oh, I don't know why it's not disrespectful.
No. Why is it disrespectful?
Oh, why is it? Watch this. I knock on the king's door, and the king comes out. I'm not there. Come on, what kind of business is this? You're not there. You're like.
What do you mean? What do you mean you knock on the king's door? Meaning Geula?
Yeah, Geula is bringing the king out, and then you start interrupting. Why are you interrupting?
But Geula is not. It's not only the Geula is not only knocking on the king's door. That's when you have to do bakashos. That's when Geula is inviting the king to hear your pleas. But if if you don't have bakashos, it doesn't mean there's no reason to have Geula.
I wanted to do the
1 second. I got to pause.
the COVID test.
Right. Meaning, here's the story. You're right. There's no bakashas, but Shemona Esrei is the height of tefillah. It's the height of certainly shvach and hodah, and it's the highest moment of davening, right? So why would you interrupt if you want? That's the moment to, even though you're not going to request from the king. But that's the moment that you want to express whatever you're going to express to the king. You want to express thanks to the king. You want to express shevach. Why would you let the king leave? I mean, no matter how you slice it, Geula is the height of bringing Hashem close. And then you're interrupting with something else. Why are you interrupting with something else? Go right to Shemona Esrei. Okay, you don't need your bakashas answered, but why wouldn't you go right into shevach or do, whatever the Shemona Esrei is? you'd still be insulting the king by not right away doing what you should be doing.
No, but I'm saying it's only insulting if you're going to ask for something. If you're just saying hello, it's not insulting. You're not asking for something. You're not even waiting by the door. You're just saying hello and you're walking away. It's not that it's only insulting. You only get into this hak if you're trying to be so mechled in order to ask for something. If you don't have a bakasha, you're saying a nice bracha, it's geula, you're saying a nice, beautiful thing, and then you're doing something else called Shemona Esrei. If you're not asking for bakashas and Shemona Esrei, there's no insult.
Okay, can I ask you a question? And I don't mean this to be too funny, but 1 second. Why don't you say the following? These brachas, no, wrong one. These 13 brachas over here are bakashas, right? So why did I say the first three? The first three are an interruption.
They're really the big. You need them in order to be bakasha.
What are you saying? Meaning they're all why we shouldn't have them, because it's Yeshavzi Soma Gula Tefillah. You right away should ask your bakash. Start with the bakashas and do these after something like, I don't know when to do them. Do them before Hodah or something, but don't interrupt with these. The answer is Teretz is this entity called Shemona Esrei is one unit. And this one unit is the ultimate of tefillah. The Amida is the essence of tefillah, of davening. The truth, you know what, I don't want to get too hocked on this, because I happen to agree with this Torah, and we're going to use it for certain reasons. But right now, we don't have to know about it. It's not, the Shagzari certainly doesn't agree with it. So, you know what I'm saying? Meaning, he says that the only reason why Yisoma Gula Tefillah is because it's a way to get your bakashas answered. And if you on Shabbos you don't need it, so there's no reason to do it. Now again, I believe Dov is right that it's an insult to the king, no matter how you slice it, if you don't go right into Shemona Esrei. And I believe Shemona Esrei is one unit, whether you have bakashas or not. And it'd be an insult. But again, the Shagzari doesn't believe that to be true, because Haraya, this is his whole answer. But you know what I'm saying? Meaning, again, I believe the insult part is that you don't begin the amida, you don't begin the main thing you're supposed to be doing. But again,
I hear that.
All right, but again, the Shagzari clearly does not agree with that, because this is his whole chiluk, right? He says on the weekdays, how to get your tefillahs answered. You have to be someone go to tefillah because you need these answered. On Shabbos, you don't have any bakashas. It's just bracha achas. So no Indian to be someone gula tefillah, and that's how he's mazvir. That's his whole chiluk, that on Shabbos there's no bakashas. Since no bakashas, bingo, there's no reason to be someone gula tefillah.
I mean, he can't just disagree with. Didn't Rashi bring down the insult thing?
Well, the question is, what's pshat in Rashi? I mean, all Rashi told us was the following. Rashi told us you invited out the king, right? Here, you invited the king out. But Rashi didn't explain to us the key step. The key step that the Shagzari adds in is Kedesha to Kubal Tfiloso. The reason why you should be Soma Gula Tfilos for one reason, how to get your prayers answered. This line, Rashi didn't tell us. Rashi just said, what's it comparable to? You invite the king out and you're not there. So, but Rashi, what do you explain to me exactly what you mean? Comes along Shagzari, says, I'll explain exactly what I mean. You want to get your tefillahs answered. This is a power booster. This is how to get your prayers answered. Be Soma Gula Tefillah. You bring Hashem out, and as soon as Hashem is out there, make your request. You're much more likely to get your tefillahs answered. So obviously, if you don't have bakashas, you don't gotta do that. All right. So far, so good. Okay, now says the Shagzari, my high time akosu mixas rabusa, and because of this reason, some rabbis said shein lispal b'Shabbos tefillas and dava. And by the way, this happens to be the halacha that we don't do it tefillas and dava, and therefore, what's the difference on Shabbos? What happens if what? Where is this halacha nogea for on Shabbos?
If you miss the davening?
Exactly. Meaning when we daven, if you missed a tefillah, so you make it up with a tashlumim in the next one. So right, if I miss shachris, I do daven to mincha. I miss mincha, daven to marvs. But on Shabbos there are no tashlumim. Why not? Because we daven the tashlumim b'toras nedava, meaning it ends up being, meaning the first we daven the chov, and let's say I miss shachris, what do? First I daven mincha. The first one I daven for the purpose of chov of mincha, and the second one I daven as an adava to make up for the shachris that I missed. But it's b'toras nedava, and since we don't daven nedavas on Shabbos, why not? Because we don't make bakashas, etc. And therefore, we don't make up on Shabbos. So he says, mixas rebusa. Some rabbis say, and it's Shabbos tunas dova, elvin til Shabbos she'el sarchav, el divrei shevach bilvad. On Shabbos, we don't make bakashas. All we do is shevach, just praise alone. Like time of yontiv nami ain't tzarich lismol gula tefillah. That according to that logic, yontiv as well. There's no reason to be some gula tefillah. Why? Da'ayim it's relevant yud ches brachos. Yom Tov also the same idea. It's Kiddush Yom. Middle bracha is Mekadosh the Yom, but no bakashas, right? So on Yom Tov you don't have the Yudches brachos that has the Shel Sarchav. This is how I believe the Arzara is saying. Okay, so basically, what's the Arzara saying? Read Rashi properly. There's a smach and there's a svara. How do they work together? The smach supports the svara. Smach tells you the svara is you're insulting the king, but not that you're insulting the king, but rather ask right away because you want your bakashas answered. The smach tells you when you have to use that. It's only biyom tzara, only on the days when you make bakashas, but Shabbos and Yom Tov you don't make bakashas, so you don't have to, and everything fits together beautifully. And everything is wonderful, right? So at this point, gentlemen, what would the Shagzari say? Do you have to, on Shabbos and Yom Tov, do you have to be some gula tefillah?
Yes.
On Shabbos and Yom Tov, would you have to be some, at this point, according to the Zarua, on Shabbos and Yom Tov, would you have to be some gula tefillah?
No.
Why
No.
not? Because
You don't necessarily get tzrachav on Shabbos and Yom Tov.
right.
So it's
The
not
whole reason
complicated.
there's only one. Zarzara says there's only one reason and one reason only. It's some gula tefillah. It's a power assist for davening. It's how to get your prayers answered, but that's how to get your bakashas answered. You make bakashas Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You don't make bakashas on Shabbos and you don't make bakashas on Yom Tov. Therefore, there's no reason to be some gula tefillah. And you could, if you have a Torah, some reason, let's say mashiv ruach, or whatever the reason may be. You want to make an announcement to vote for Tom Walsh for a political you can do it because you don't have to do some gula tefillah, right? But so good. Shabbos and Yom Tov, there's no reason to, right? No reason to. All right, so far so good. So that's right now where the Shagzari is up to. And that basically the Arzarua sounds correct. What Rashi is saying is just like the Arzarua, and that it's only on Chol that you have to be some gula tefillah, but not on Shabbos and Yom Tov. Okay. However, mikoma come nearly sheikid Beis Yosef l'maisa. I want you to know the main thing is like the Beis Yosef. Excuse me. The field of Shabbos Yom Tov sarach lisma gula tefillah. Even on Shabbos and Yom Tov, you have to be some gula tefillah. The gam tamo sherashi yeshloma de'en el smach ba'alma inami lo plug rabbanim in tefillah. Happens to be that the Beis Yosef is right. Why? Because even though Rashi brought this smach, but it's a smach ba'alma, meaning it's not. How do I say this? It's meaning when many times when Chazal bring the smachta, they don't mean it. They don't mean it really la halacha. It's more like it's an asmachta. I mean, it's like a remez. It's that's like Rashi said. It's a remez, but it's not a source. It's a remez. It's like a little bit of a support. It's like like a gematria. You wouldn't pass an halacha from a gematria, but a gematria could be a remez, could be a source, could be a help, could be an aid, but it's not a makor. And since it's not a makor, you can't go making chilukim like this just because it is this drasha business. You can't do that. What do you do with the Shagazari? What do you do with the Svara? Someone asked. I mean, if you get the smach, didn't the Shagzari tell us Svara? Shabbos Yom Tov, there's no reason to ask. The only reason you're some gula tefillah is to power assist your davening. On Shabbos Yom Tov, there's no reason to power assist.
That's also a smach, not just Rashi. Rashi not just a smach.
No, wait. Rashi, there's a svara.
Rashi's svara is not really a svara. It's a nice story. It's a story. It's a reasoning. It's a logic that generally explains why we do it in that fashion. But that doesn't mean if there's a case which is different, like Shabbos or Yontiv,
what are you saying? What are you saying?
It's a general reason why we do it. It's not the reason why we do it necessarily.
What is the reason then?
Because that's what they were masakin tefillah in that fashion. Tefillah is supposed to be samich kula tefillah.
What was Rashi doing on the page? Rashi was just filling in space?
Well, Marshall, in Mariv, is the svar? Should the svara apply?
I don't know. It's a machlokas Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Ben Levi.
Whether or not there's gula or night, l'maisa, you're still asking Hashem for bakashas.
Right. Therefore what?
But the svara should apply.
Only if there's a gula. If there's no gula, it can't apply. I don't know.
You're still endearing the king. All that's true. You're endearing the king.
It doesn't work. According to Rabbi Ben Levi, it doesn't work. There's no gula. You can't do it. You can't do it in mincha. You can't do it in nila. You can't do it in amar because there's no gula.
You're still endearing the king. When it's generally an explanation. It's an explanation why we do it.
Why don't you say, Rabbi Shiur ben Levi, with all due respect, you don't know what you're talking about. You make no sense. You said there's no gula at night. Says B'yom Pesach, who cares? You're endearing the king anyway. So what was the Rabbi Shiur ben Levi going to say to you?
I hear what you're saying, because Rabbi Shiur ben Levi agrees during the morning, so therefore he can't say that. He agrees during the morning.
I mean, something has to be the Tamadover. Basically what the Shagzar is telling us is the stuff above the smach, that's not serious. So obviously you mean the svara is serious. And it makes sense because the svara is a logic. I get it.
Why can you say low plug?
Well, he does say low plug. I see that, but he says Eina smach ba'alma inami, or inami is the second answer. So I'm just kvetching a little bit, and it's an interesting thing to kvetch about. That if you hold it's just a smach ba'alma, good, but still the svara doesn't apply for Shabbos and Yontif. I mean, let's say you didn't have this low plug business.
It's a separate answer. Okay, fine, I get it. Right.
Right.
I mean, you ask for stuff on Shabbos, though.
What do we ask for on Shabbos?
Like to have a good Shabbos, basically, and for no. So
we do ask for Sarchei Rabim. We do ask Sarchei Rabim and also Shalom and Roma. Right, we ask.
There's a paragraph of bakashas in there for Shabbos, like
right. We in that we make ruchnius requests. We don't make bakashas. We make ruchnius requests and we make tzibur requests to the Klal Yisrael. But we don't make personal bakashas. You're allowed to ask for learning. You're allowed to ask for help in midos. You're allowed to ask for help in davening. But you're not allowed to make I need parnasa, I need health, I need my kids to get a shit. We don't make personal requests. We do make ruchnius requests, and we make requests to the Klal Yisrael. But bakashas means personal requests. God help me, I need money. God help me, I need an apartment. God help, And bakashas we don't make. So the way you get bakashas answered is by being some gula tefillah. And on Shabbos Yontiv you don't make bakashas, therefore there's no need to be some gula tefillah. So even if you say it's only smach ba'alma, the svara doesn't apply for Shabbos Yontiv.
If he doesn't hold those kashas, then what's the problem? There's no skin off your back. Just do it anyway.
Well, no, there is skin off my back. Let's say there's a particular reason why I don't want to be some gula tefillah. I'll give you a number for instances. Let's say I walk into Shachris late, and I see they're up to Shemona Esrei. What do? So if it's Mariv, the halacha is I daven Shemona Esrei first with the tzibur, and then I daven afterwards. I daven the beginning part of Mariv. But by Shachris I can't do it. Why? Because you have to do someone gula tefillah. But you mean I have to give up tefillah b'tzibur? Why do you have to give up tefillah b'tzibur? You have to do someone gula tefillah. On Shabbos, why should you have to do someone gula tefillah?
In this case of Shmini Atzeres is another case.
That's right, but really, it's even more. When you have a real tam, like being davening with tzibur, that's a real tam. Meaning, you're right. This issue, mashi ruach, whatever. But here's a real advantage in my davening right now. There's a huge advantage. My tefillah is much more impactful davening b'tzibur. And so why shouldn't I daven b'tzibur? The answer is because you have to be someone gula tefillah. Why Shabbos Yom Tov? What do I have to be someone gula tefillah for? All right, so I don't know what he means by this, but whatever. But the point is that what the Shagzari clearly is saying is that really I hold like the Beis Yosef, that even on Shabbos Yom Tov you have to be someone gula tefillah. The Svara doesn't apply Shabbos Yom Tov, so let's just say lo plug, meaning you're right. Really, Mikra Din on Shabbos Yom Tov, you don't need to be someone gula tefillah. Because I'll say lo plug, I don't care. Monday, you have someone, Tuesday, Shabbos as well, Yom Tov as well, you have to be someone gula tefillah, it's a lo plug. Why they would do a low plug, I don't know, but they do. All right, so that's how he concludes it. So basically, to be honest with you, anybody troubled like as I am?
I'm keep on being bothered by a halacha, which is snacking against my brain. Which is if you forget, let's say it's a Shabbos, and you forget, and instead of saying whatever the beginning of a Yismach Maish, whatever you say, Atachanin Ladam Das, and you continue Shemad Esrei, and then you get up to Slach Lanu, wherever it is, all of a sudden you're clapping, and you're looking around, nobody else is clapping, and you're like, it's Shabbos. So
Right.
halacha is you don't go back to the beginning of Shemad Esrei. You go back to start Yismach Moshe or Ata Kodesh, whatever it is. And my memory of the halacha is because those bakashas, even though we don't say them on Shabbos and Yom Tov, they apply. They do apply.
Right. Right.
If that's true, then the Svar should apply as well in general because it's not like the bakashas are beyond.
No, but you don't make the bakashas. You don't need. You don't make them. You're not supposed to make them. You're not allowed to make them. Let's say you want to make it. Let's say I need a parnasa. I need help. Hashem, my business is going bankrupt. Hashem, help. Am I allowed to do it on Shabbos?
No, you're not supposed to.
Okay, so we don't do bakashas. So if I'm by mistake, whatever, okay, fine. And it applies. Meaning, it's not like a toast. It's not like something that like not main inyana diyoma. You know what I'm saying? So you can't call it a toast that it's a hefsek or something. But you're not supposed to make the bakashas, so you don't need the assist. But again, what's troubling me honestly about the Shagz Aryeh is he did a great job of explaining to us why you shouldn't need some gula tefillah on Shabbos Yom Tov, and then he gives a very weak reason why you should. A low plug or it's on smach ba'alma, like I don't know. It's like the kash is much better than Torah. He just did a great job defending Or Zarua, and he did a terrible job explaining to me the Beis Yosef. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying it's a kasha, but it's a little troubling, this whole structure. I now understand the Or Zarua perfectly. Shabbos is radically different than the weekday. Why? Because you don't make bakashas, and weekdays you do. So I get it. So you need to be someone gula tefillah on weekdays, and you don't need on Shabbos Yom Tov. So taka, but I hold like the Beis Yosef that you do have to do someone gula. Why? Because lo plug or smach. I don't know.
Could it just be he doesn't want to? He has a svara. He doesn't want to argue the Beis Yosef based on his svara.
No, he's broad. He's bold. He'll do battle with anybody. He's the Shagz Aryeh was
Svara,
called.
Not Lamaisa though. It could be Svara now.
No, he would. The Shagz Aryeh was the Ari Sheb B'Chabura. He starts. I don't know. He's very, very sharp.
Rabbi, can I just ask? It could be that. Could it be that really the Or Zarua is like a Mako type of opinion here? Because he's saying like you could really make a suffix. You can really make him a hefsek by Shabbos and Yom Tov. So what the Shagzar is trying to do is say that like really you shouldn't make a hefsek where it's not so pashut that you could. Over here, the ikr should be Beis Yosef because he's saying don't make any hefsek between these two important philos. So I'll give you a reason why I think he's right. Doesn't have to have a great reason.
Look, the Agos HaShri brought this Or Zarua because he held. So you have two Rishonim basically who say clearly we hold that on Shabbos and Yom Tov there's no reason, absolutely no reason whatsoever, someone gula tefillah. Now the Beis Yosef argues with those two Rishonim. To be honest with you, the Beis Yosef is overstepping his bounds because he is really effectively an achron, and he's really arguing with two Rishonim. So he's really like kind of on the Now, again, the Beis Yosef has right to do that because he's the final word halacha, but he's not on the strongest ground. So what the Shagzari just did for us, he just explained to us beautifully the logic of the Orzurua. It's almost like Mizmor Shir, what Rashi's saying. It fits into Rashi perfectly. Orzurua makes perfect sense. He said, but Shagzari says, still, I hold like Beis Yosef. Why? There's a little plug. How do you know there's a little plug like that? Where do you get with Makar like that? If you have a halach, you have to explain. Okay, but what's forcing you to say a little plug? So we'll see. This we'll see in a minute, though. So we're going to see in a minute what forces it. So let's go a little further. You know what I'm saying? Meaning at this point it sounds a little weak. Okay, but here it goes on. Now, why am I going to say this? Because I have very strong rayas. The Rosh brings the Talmidei de Rabbi Yonah who said Perik Tzilas Hashacha Bracha Dav Chav Zayin Beis Das is Shaper Simen Gabi Had Rav Sali Shal Shabbos Berev Shabbos Lachat Says Kol Me'akori Kriyashim Abonasa Vava Bishla Yasam Agula Tefillah. I mean, they brought this raya and that Rav would daven Shabbos Erev Shabbos well before Tzeis, and after Tzeis HaKacham, he would read Krishma, Bonasa. Alpha Bishalaya Samagula Tefillah, even though it wasn't Samagula Tefillah. Why? Why did he do this? It's like a kasha. Why wasn't he Samagula Tefillah? The Talmidei Rabbi Yonah explained, Kim Shem Machav in the mitzvah, Lo Simichol HaKodesh, therefore Lo Chaysa Smicha. Meaning, what basically the Talmidei Rabbi Yonah is saying like this. Why did Rav say daven Shmona? Why did Rav daven early Erev Shabbos and later say Shema? He's not being so magula tefillah. And the answer is he had a reason why, because he wanted to be Mosif Chol HaKodesh. So what do we see from this, gentlemen?
You need to be so magula tefillah on Shabbos.
The Talmidei Rabbi Yonah, the Rush and the Talmidei Rabbi Yonah clearly hold on Shabbos you have to be some Magula Tefillah. So I got two Rishonim who clearly indicate that you have to be some Magula Tefillah. That's number one, right? And number two, V'gam Tosas V'shar Poskim Nitchu Har Beibaha Dura Brosh Parakam Brachos the Ma'lo Chashis Magula Tefillah, right? Tosas brought this and had a whole tumult. Why didn't Rav some Magula Tefillah? And as a matter of fact, what did Tosas prove from that? Anybody remember Rabbeinu Tam? What did Rabbeinu Tam prove?
Amram is wrong. Is that what it was?
You say it again. I'm saying what? That
Amram was wrong.
No. This is the first Rabbeinu Tam, the first Sugyah.
Oh boy.
Right. Meaning Rabbeinu Tam feels that you could be right. Rashi says, when do you say Kriya Shema later on bed? That's when you say Kriya Shema. Rabbeinu Tam says no. You say Kriya Shema in shul. It's before Tzeis. How you say Kriya Shema? I'll bring a raya. Because look, Rav used to daven early, and I assume he didn't say Shema later, says Tosas, right? We'll see why in a minute. But the point is that, I don't know if you guys chop this, but do you know what tells the raya according to Shagzari is? How Rabbeinu Tam brought a raya from Rav? Do you guys remember this? I don't know how clearly we spoke this out, but again, Rabbeinu Tam brings a raya that you could be Yotzei Kriya Shema before Tzeis HaKachamim because Rav davened earlier. Now here's the question. Very nice, Rav davened earlier. Maybe he said Shema later, right?
He wasn't Shemekula Tefillah later.
Exactly. If he did that, then he wouldn't be Somegula Tefillah. So must be the only way Rav could be Somegula Tefillah would be if he held like Rabbi Yehuda that it's mamish night now, and just like it's night legabi Somegula Tefillah, it's night legabi Shema as well. But that step means it's mukhrach in Rabbeinu Tam that on Shabbos you have to be Somegula Tefillah, otherwise Rabbeinu Tam has no step. Shlomo, you got that?
I mean, I don't. He just says Bastami Hayakar Kriya Shema by that point. This is in the Re, no?
No, Rabbeinu Tam. Meaning, why went they? Meaning, Rabbeinu Tam proves from here. The real proof is from Rabbeinu Tam, because Rabbeinu Tam, in other words, Rabbeinu Tam proves that Shema is before Tzeis. You can be able to say Shema before Tzeis according to Rabbi Yehuda. How does he prove it? Because Rav davened early. Good, so Rav davened early. Maybe he said Shema after. Oh yeah, that'd be clever. But if he did that, then it wouldn't be some Agula Tefillah. And there's no way that Rav would do that. So Rabbeinu Tam must be Rav holds that you could be, that even though it's early, since you hold like Rabbi Yehuda, it's mamish night already. And therefore you can be some Agula Tefillah early. So obviously the whole step is predicated on the fact that you have to be some Agula Tefillah on Shabbos, because otherwise the whole step doesn't begin. Meaning, let's watch again. Maybe I'll tell you Rav daven Mar Shema, meaning he davened early, he said Shema later. Well, if that's true, how is it some Agula Tefillah? The answer's simple. It's Shabbos. You don't have to do some Agula Tefillah. Yes.
According to the Rabbeinu Tam, why is it that you have to, just because you say Kriya Shema later, does not mean that you weren't Samach Gula and Tefillah, because he davened earlier. It doesn't mean that the Kriya Shema wasn't said. He was Samach Gula Tefillah. And then later on, he repeated the Kriya Shema. Who says you have to have Kriya Shema part of Gula and Tefillah?
Okay,
I don't see it that way.
Good question. So here's basically the step. If it's not night, there's no Gula. Meaning, we know clearly that there's no obligation, like Rabbi Shimon Levi says, that at night there's no Gula, right? Now, Rabbi Yochanan says, no, at night there is a Gula. But if it's not night, there's no Gula. Nobody can say some Gula Tefillah. If Rav held it wasn't night earlier by Plaga Mincha, then nobody could say Yisoma Gula Tefillah because there's no Gula. Let's say a Mincha, I say Gal Yisrael. Would that be Yisoma Gula Tefillah?
No. You don't, yeah, but wait, by Mincha we don't have that. We don't have Gula Tefillah.
Why not? Well, I'll tell you, why not? Why don't we have Gula by Tefillah by Mincha?
Because you only have by Shachos and Mariv.
But why?
Why? Because the Zman. It's
because the Zman Geula was either
in the morning or at night. It wasn't in the afternoon. Right.
So if it wasn't night, according to Rav, he can't do Gula Tefillah. Must be that Rav holds like Rabbi Yehuda that it's mamish night after Plag, so you can be some Gula Tefillah. That's Rabbeinu Tam's Raya. So, but the Shagzari's point is the Rabbeinu Tam's Raya is predicated on one Yesod. You have to be some Gula Tefillah, even though it's Shabbos. So obviously, you have a Rabbeinu Tam saying the words almost like in neon letters. You have to be some Gula Tefillah on Shabbos.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why the Shagzari. I mean, again, he defended the Arzura perfectly, and then he jumps to say a low plug or something like that. Why does he say that? I'll tell you why. Because he's got two powerful rayas that has to be true. And number one, the Rush and Tamid Rabbi Yonah, who say that who are bothered by over here, right? That Rav, why they're bothered by why did Rav give up Samach Tefillah? They learned different than Rabbeinu Tam. They learned that Rav gave up Samach Gula Tefillah, but they explained he gave it up because he was he wanted most of Michal al Kodesh, and he felt that was more important than Samach Gula Tefillah. But they're saying clearly that Shabbos Rav should be Samach Gula Tefillah. Okay, he felt it was more important to most of Michal al Kodesh. Good. But you have a Rush and Tamid Rabbi Yonah who clearly say on Shabbos you have some Gula Tefillah. That's camp number one. And then camp number two is we have Rabbeinu Tam, whose whole raya and from Rav is based on the fact that you have to be some Gula Tefillah. Therefore, says the Shagzari, with all due respect to Arzarua, I have more powerful guns on the side of saying that even Shabbos and Yontiv you have to be some Gula Tefillah. Therefore, it's got to be either a low plug or it's just a smach, whatever logic is. Right?
This only proves Shabbos and not Yontif necessarily, right? Both of these cases.
Now, is there a chilik between Shabbos and Yontif?
I don't know in the Beis Yosef's world if there is or not. I mean,
well, one thing in the Shagzari world there isn't.
Right, but that was in the Or Zarua. I don't know if that's true in Beis Yosef now.
No, but you see, but he said with all due respect, it's dumb. Meaning that Maril, who's Machalik between Shabbos and Yontif, the Shagir Ari said, with all due respect, I can't even say this word, but it's dumb. There's no chiluk. What do you hakim between? Or is the word not goris that any chiluk between Shabbos and Yontif is not goris, because his logic is one. Yom Tzara means the bakashas. Bakashas, you got to get power assist your tefillah by being somewhat gula tefillah. But any day that you don't make bakashas, there's no reason to be somewhat gula tefillah. Shabbos Yom Tov the same in that way. The Maria wants
doesn't hold that far. Who cares?
No, who says
doesn't necessarily hold that far, right?
No, we don't know that. Meaning the Maril, we don't know what the Beis Yosef makes a chiluk in Shabbos Yom Tov. We know the Maril does. We don't know what. Meaning the Beis Yosef just said that on Shabbos you don't have to do some gula tefillah. He didn't really discuss openly Yom Tov, and we don't, unless we know of any reasons Mechalik, we don't have to assume he does. The Maril made a chiluk in Shabbos and Yom Tov. Okay, good. But the Shagzari says I don't see any basis for it. And the way the Shagzari explained the logic, there is no basis because it's gufa. The reason we saw gold tefillah is a power assist, which is only when you make bakashas. Shabbos and Yom Tov you don't, so there's no chiluk. So he would certainly assume that there is no difference in Shabbos and Yom Tov.
Can't one make an argument that there is bakashas and Yom Tov because, for example, when Kohanim Duchen, the tequila is asking for all kinds of stuff.
What we're asking for then is the matir chalomos, meaning we ask Hashem to. We're not making
parnasa. We ask for parnasa, mizonos. We ask for everything.
We had to have a little bit. We had to have a little bit isser.
Yeah, we ask for everything. I know the Rebbe was trying to get to it. It's not Gashmias, not Gashmias, but Ruchnias, but it's Gashmias.
And any of the only answer I could think of is it means it's tzibur and not the yachid.
Yeah, but even the bakashas we're saying everything is b'tzibur. You can add your own personal tefillas that you're asking Hashem, please help me with this and that.
On weekday, it's a personal bakasha.
We say Hashem on Yontif and not on Shabbos.
Yeah.
With the Ratzon, I mean, or something like Rabbon Shalom.
Yeah, but that Yeratzon is not as much. Actually, that also has the same. You're right. That also has bakashas. Again, I have to assume that those bakashas are. I have to look at. I assume that they're Klal Yisrael bakashas. Just like we ask in Yeratzon, taking kavod, right? We don't want kavod for the Klal Yisrael. We want kavod. You know what I'm saying? Meaning when we bench Rosh Chodesh, right? We ask it should be a month of kavod, and right. The Chofetz Chaim asks, "Why are you asking for kavod?" The answer is not covered my individual kavod; it's the Klal Yisrael, as an entity. So I assume that's the answer for Parnasenu. But I have to look. Truth is.
So how do you answer Chaim Aruchim? Chaim shall
everyone's right.
Yeah.
Klal Yisrael, I guess. Klal Yisrael should have.
She'ein bohem busha chima Chaim shel osha v'chol she'ein one abbas lavidas shemaim. I don't know. It is for the but I want to get back to in the bakashas of Shmona Esrei on a weekday basis. Rafeinu, we're not saying Rafeinu, please heal me, heal the kehillah.
So I'll let you know a little secret.
So it's the same answer. You can't.
I'll let you know a secret. Those are personal bakashas, and the Chazal tell us how to get your bakashas answered. Ask it in the plural, because when you bring others into it, you'll get more likely to get it to be answered. But it's a bakasha for me. I do it in a general sense because right, that was Chazal's. Gave us the eitzah how to get your tefillas answered. Okay, now. So basically, concludes the L'dasa Azura. Now, so he's finishing the Shagzar. He says, L'dasa Azura, my kashalu. What's a kasha from Rabbi Ben Tzion Shafier? If you'll be shachas in tzorach smichus gula tefillah, avagav diga gula mitzrayim biyom ha'isa koshkim ba'arvis eniko kol ka'akanam b'hasam parakama. So, right, meaning Rabbi Ben Tzion would have no discussion whatsoever about, and to me, Rabbi Ben Tzion would have no discussion whatsoever even by Shachris, you don't need to. Surely not. Meaning Rav. Don't forget, Rav did it at Mariv, right? That's what he was mocked him. He did early. So if you hold the Shabbos, you don't even need in the morning. You don't even need Gula Tefillah. Surely at Mariv, you don't need Gula Tefillah. So obviously, these are Marayas that that even Shabbos you don't have to require Smicha Gula Tefillah. And concludes the Shach. Sorry, Elavade Shema. We now feel b'Shabbat Tzarech Lisma Gula Tefillah. So for the Rosh and Tamida Rabbi Yonah and Rabbi Tam, you see that on Shabbos you have to do some Gula Tefillah. Hilkach les l'mashe pasko achronim barachayim simikov yud aleph del tzarech mutalafsik ben Gula Tefillah b'Shabbos. That which achronim write, and those achronim, by the way, are pretty big achronim. It's Rabbi Kvega, it's Pri Megadim, it's pretty big people. But anyway, that which they write that you'll have to be mafsik, be on Shabbos being Gula Tefillah tzarech is incorrect. Elavade ein lechalik ben Shabbos l'chol in Yismicha Gula Tefillah kenirli. Okay, good. But what have we gleaned from this Shagazari, gentlemen? We now understand Rashi. Why? Somebody say it over. Let me hear. Why do we understand Rashi? And a silence fell over the room. How do we understand Rashi now?
Ignoring Rebbe's question about the fact that on Shabbos we don't do that, setting it aside. So it sounds like he's saying that Rashi is only bringing in the Yad Chabem Tzora, etc., the Stamis and Asmachta, like as a point, and the real Svara is bringing things before Kadosh Baruch Hu and not pouring water in his face, so to speak. And since that's the main reason, that's the Svara. That's why we do it at least during the week.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say not the pouring water stuff. It supports the Svara, but what's the Svara? Meaning the Smach supports the Svara, but what is the Svara? According to the Shagas Ari's Rashi, what is the Svara?
The super tefillos, so they're more miskabel.
Exactly. It's a power assist for davening. Now, again, the Shagzari says in Svara that shouldn't apply to Shabbos, but you have to say lo plug because I have Rabbeinu Yonah and I have Tosas, etc., Rabbeinu Tam, and so obviously you have to say it's a lo plug. But the essence, at least we understand Rashi. Really, Rashi's Svara is you want to get your tefillas answered, and therefore you as soon as the king comes out, you make a request. And the other thing with Yom Kippur, I'm sorry, that it's just a smachta. Alamai Shabbos and Yom Tov must be a little plug or something like that, or something.
We don't understand the first half of this when he says Ismach Malma. Right? That's we said.
Yeah, I don't understand it exactly, but right, but right.
But we it's Ismach Malma. I'm sorry, it's a low plug.
Right. But the point is we now have a good working shot. We now understand Rashi. Before Rashi was like, I don't know what he's doing. It's Smach and then the Svara. Like, he says it's very simple. The Smach is just like an assist. It's just like a helper out. Meaning Smach helps you understand the Svara. What's a Svara? The Svara is you want to get your request answered. And when does that apply? It applies weekday. Now, what about Shabbos? Okay, Shabbos is a little plug. But the essence Svara is to get your tefillas answered. And that we have the smach sort of helps because it says Yan Sarah. When you have bakashas, you want it to get answered. Don't make a mistake. Don't take the smach too literally because there's a low plug to Shabbos as well. But it's an assist to let you know the Talmud. The Talmud is to get your tefillas answered. And we now have one huge step forward. At least Baruch Hashem, we have a way of reading Rashi. Now we still have lots and lots of problems that we have no answer for. Namely, 4 of them I got, and that we're going to have to continue. But at least we have a reading of Rashi, and then we're going to have to see if we could also read Tosas and figure out the actual machlokas between Rabbi Shimon Levi and Rabbi Yochanan. On that one, we're going to need Siyat Shmai on. Tosas, I think I know, we're coming up, but we got some more work to do. Mitzvah Hashem. All right, scenes of coming attraction. Well, hopefully we'll get involved in Tosas, the Machlokas, Rav Amram, and Tosas himself, and then maybe we'll get again back to Rabbi Shimon Levi and. Was
the Rashi question one of the 5 questions that we had on Thursday?
Yep. So one down.
We still have
We're
3
gonna have an answer. Can we answer the
Yeah.
questions with just what we have, or we need more weapons to answer?
We need more weapons, I think. Yeah, I don't think this is alone enough. Because this alone we'll never understand what Rav Amram and Tosa are talking about. Chover, shuz, one says yeah, one says no. Like I don't know how to read that stuff. I also surely don't know what the machlokas between Rabbi Shiur. You guys know what the Rabbi Yochanan and Shmuel Levi is. I don't. But for sure you can't read Tosas. There's no way you'll be able to read Tosas with this alone.
You gotta explain the Kaddish. Why we say Kaddish?
Yeah, according to us, why you say Kaddish, right? Why you say Kaddish is surely hefsek. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know how we're going to ever answer that question, by the way. Some questions I'm hoping we have an answer for. I have a glimmer of I got a chance to learn a little bit on Shabbos.
In broad strokes, there has to be some sort of concept of this Gula Arichta being some sort of more liberal extension of Tzvila beyond. Right, there has to be some structure.
That which Rabbi Amram says is a hefsek. It was put in for the purpose of being a hefsek. All right, we'll have to see.
No, that's this Kaddish. But I'm saying for the other things, like Tos is describing a general bridge that there goes from Geula into Tzvila, and so either it's a Geula or it's a Tzvila. We don't know what those extra 18 psukim are.
All right, yeah, to be continued. Good. All right, gentlemen.
Planning to finish it this week, or?
We'll see. I'm not sure. But the Binyamin Pesach, you're joining us Thursday night?
What's Thursday night?
Live in Rochester. Come on. Shlomo, you coming down?
I need a little more advance warning before I go driving to.
Why? How many hours is it? Come on, what's the big deal? From Cleveland to Rochester is close.
It's got to be 4 or 5 hours. I didn't know.
Yeah, only 4 hours. Right on the 90. Easy 4 hours on the 90.
Shabbos? I'm gonna get home for Shabbos too.
Yeah, why not? You come Thursday. You drive back Friday. It's easy.
And my job.
That's your problem. I don't do it get yourself a Tesla, and you do it. I just spoke to a Rebbe. I can't believe I'm tempted. There's a Rebbe here who goes into Brooklyn every day. I say, how do you drive? He says, I got a Tesla. I said, what do you mean? He says he falls asleep. He tells me he falls asleep on the FDR, and he wakes up.
It drives into Brooklyn.
It drives. Well, I'll tell you something. The way I drive is especially at night. I'm like, but all right. I don't know. I don't recommend it yet, but give it another couple of years. What?
Where's this whole party happening at?
Oh, where's it happening? At Jake's. It always happens at
regular Thursday night Shiur time.
What?
Is Jake still on?
No, it's Yaakov. Yaakov's house. Yaakov is the popcorn man.
Yeah, I know. Is Yaakov still there? Still on?
Yaakov is still here?
I think he's gone.
He's gone. He's preparing the popcorn.
Directly.
He's making the popcorn.
Maybe that could work some things with my wife to stay for Shabbos. Is Rebbe staying for Shabbos?
Yeah, we are. We're staying by my daughter. Mr. Shem, yeah.
Is that Beth Kesses Agadol, whatever? Is that
Yeah. But I'll probably daven yeshiva. But yeah,
the shul already gave you a week off, Rebbe.
When I signed the contract, did I tell you the first clause in the contract? When the guys came down, the first discussion, the first clause, I said, one Tanai, I'm not accepting a salary. That was the first opening clause. I said that, like, there's no discussion if we don't get, there's no discussion. So, and now the reason for that is because reasons, but as a result of that, I'm able to make my own schedule, Yes, I take. Let me explain to you. I will be taking off some time to time, and
not the shul on Shabbos?
No, I mean it's a long walk from Rochester.
I'm confused. The yeshiva's, where's the yeshiva now? It's not where it used to be.
No. I mean in Pomona. I'm.
No, not there. In the shul in Rochester.
Oh no, I don't want to do that.
You're visiting your daughter. It's not a professional visit.
No, it's a personal visit. Yeah. All right, good. All right, gentlemen.
All right.
Okay, Laila Tov. Good night.
Thank you, Rebbe.
Okay, bye.